Hi. What are we doing here? Oh yeah. Um, I'm Kris Salvi,
I'm Gabrielle Rosson.
also known as Gabrielle Salvi.
Yeah.
Um, we're filmmakers, and we've been given the opportunity to answer a couple of questions here as filmmakers, as New England filmmakers, and I guess we're gonna go through that and answer these questions and interview each other, figure out what makes us tick.
Yeah.
I think the decade of cinema that I reference or try to reference the most in my films is probably late 60s, early 70s. I think that to me was a very important genre of, well, not genre, but a very important decade of film to me. That was post, around the Vietnam era. A lot of filmmakers were making movies that kind of, questioned establishment, questioned authority. And there was a lot of anti-heroes running around. You had movies like Bonnie and Clyde, which was like one of the first real violent movies of the 60s. And you had some great gangster genre pictures, films like Friends of Eddie Coyle. You had movies like Prime Cut with Lee Marvin and Gene Hackman. And you also started to kind of see the rise of like the kind of gory slasher films, which I kind of like. I kind of dig those. You got to see movies, like Black Sabbath, and they started making all these other B ones like like Black Christmas. You started to really show things in cinema that you couldn't show in the 50s because of the Motion Picture Association Code. And new Hollywood was coming in. So you had brand new directors like John Cassavetes, Martin Scorsese, Peter Bogdanovich, Arthur Penn. Well, Arthur Penn wasn't really a new director, but he had made Bonnie and Clyde, and I think he really stepped up the game in terms of what you can show in a movie, violence wise. And I think a lot of these other filmmakers that came in were working more on like a low budget scale, which is what I relate to as a filmmaker. So I'd say that's in terms of story and in terms of characters and in terms of style, I think that's the films that I reference the most, because all of them were very gritty, especially John Cassavetes stuff. It was very much guerrilla, very much like grab the camera and follow with the character, which I enjoy doing. And I think another decade would probably be the late 30s going probably the 30s going into the early 50s. In the 30s you had I think the 30s is really when the gangster genre took off, with movies like Public Enemy, The Roaring Twenties, Scarface. You know, I don't know. And then you had noir. You had noir post World War II. You had noir like 1945 going into all the way up to 1958. So, and I think noir might have been a lot of people say noir was a response to World War II, but I don't think it was. I think it was a response to the Depression. And you saw, because back in the 30s and the 20s, the good guy kind of had to win. No matter what, the good guy had to win. But in noir, nobody won. You know what I mean? Like the concept of noir was that you were fucked no matter what. You were framed for a crime you didn't commit. And, the girl that you wanted ended up killing you. And I think we saw a lot of that again in the 60s and the 70s, especially in the 70s.
I can see all of those influences in your work.